coming up on Retirement Solutions Television.
Coming up in this segment, we're going to share with you why low interest rates are punishing retirees, plus some surprising strategies that could help you successfully generate retirement income today.
We've had record low interest rates for over 8 years now, and it's wreaking havoc on traditional income options like CDs and savings accounts. Ultimately, it's forcing many retirees to take on far more risk than they ever thought that they would.
Rates on CDs and saving accounts won't return to normal levels anytime soon.
Maybe never.
That's possible, it may never happen. Unfortunately, that's forced many retirees to take on far more risk than they should in search of a return. And that could have irreversible consequences at this stage of the game.
And now your hosts of Retirement Solutions Television, the Retirement Brothers, Tyson and Ryan Thacker.
Welcome to Retirement Solutions Television. I'm Ryan Thacker along with my brother Tyson.
We've got an action-packed show for you today, and we're going to start right here, right now. Welcome back to Retirement Solutions Television.
If you're retired or retiring anytime in the next several years, you wish for one thing. You wish it was 1984. In 1984, $500,000 in a CD or savings account would earn roughly $60,000 a year in interest. Think about that. You're not receiving
pretty
that
nice,
today.
right?
Because that same $500,000 in a CD today would fetch you around $7,500.
What a difference.
Year. Interest rates are the difference. And interest rates have been at a record low for more than 8 years. And chances are they won't return to normal levels anytime soon, if ever. So that's forcing retirees to take on more risk than they should at this stage in the game. Coming up in this segment, we're going to share with you why low interest rates are punishing retirees, plus some surprising strategies that could help you successfully generate retirement income today. Tyson, this is a big topic on retirement savers' minds today. Why is this such a big deal?
You know, the reality is every single day we have somebody walk into our office and talk to either us or our advisors and say, where do we get the money from?
Because they all think back in 1984, I could have just put this all in the bank and I would have been just fine.
The reality is that money has gone away, and as you mentioned, it may never come back. And as a result, there need to be some updated strategies from 1984. This is not the DeLorean anymore. This is the next phase of your retirement planning that's going to help you to get what you need as it relates to income.
It comes down to this. This is not your father's or your grandfather's retirement. Money changes, and it's time for you to update your strategies. The new normal is this. What generates reliable retirement income? And this starts with making sure that you know the source of your income and where that's going to come from. I mean, think about today, and here's one of the challenges. It used to be a three-legged stool when it came to retirement. You had your Social Security, you had a pension from a company, and then you had your personal savings. That three-legged stool.
It doesn't exist anymore,
What
does
does it look like today, Tyson?
You know, it really is a two-legged stool. The pension's gone away. And so there's less than 19% of anyone who now currently has a pension or access to a pension.
So that means 81% don't have a pension.
They don't. And so they're relying on their own savings and Social Security. It's got to go further than it's ever gone before.
Okay, so as we think about reliable income is something that's going to come in consistently over and over again. We call it the income workhorse. The reason why this is important is because if you do not know where your money is going to come from, it's like being unemployed during retirement. While you're in your working years, you're going to make sure that you know where that paycheck is coming from. It's no different when it comes to your retirement planning, and that's a mistake that many families make. So Tyson, let's talk about some ideas. What is reliable income and what is not?
Reliable income are things that are going to help you to last as long as you do, no matter how long you live. So it's probably not, first of all, throwing it all into the market and crossing your fingers and hoping that it lasts all through retirement. Taking too much risk in the market, in other words,
That's right.
could really doom you to having a wrong approach to retirement planning.
And the other thing is using sources that historically have been able to produce good, solid returns. That could be a dividend stock. That could be a properly structured annuity. It could be real estate. What it is not is your new hobby that you just started 6 months ago. You love doing it, but that's probably not going to generate the reliable
Too many
income
people
for you.
who focus on that find out that they spend all this money to start the business, and then they're worried that it runs out because they just keep spending money to try to get this thing going, right?
That's exactly right.
Anyone retiring within the next several years is facing a perfect storm of events. But the biggest challenge above anything else will be your ability to generate income in retirement. Let us show you how we could make the most out of every dollar you've saved for retirement with our customized to you Boss Retirement Blueprint. We address everything that includes Social Security, taxes, diversification, healthcare, risk, but most importantly, we focus on how you could turn your savings into an investment income workhorse during retirement. Best of all, your initial analysis won't cost you a dime, so you've got nothing to lose. If you've saved at least $200,000 for retirement, call to schedule your initial analysis now at 801-610-1234. Learn how we could help you make your money go further than you ever thought possible. 801-610-1234.
With record low interest rates, how will you generate income in retirement? We'll share some surprising strategies coming up next after the break.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
You made it. Years of hard work, investing, planning, and now you're here. The long-awaited reward you spent a lifetime looking forward to. But what now? After years of growing a nest egg, now you may want to manage it. Use it to fund your dreams. Make it last as long as you need it. And leave some for those you love. So what do? Wall Street continues to be uncertain, and some conservative options have dropped through the floor. How do you maintain opportunities for growth and reduce risk of loss from market changes? That's where we come in. We are financial professionals. From investments and insurance products to tax reduction strategies and guaranteed retirement income you cannot outlive, provided by the claims-paying ability of insurance companies. You've worked a lifetime to get here. Let us help you enjoy it to the fullest. For a complimentary consultation, simply contact us today.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
Welcome back to Retirement Solutions Television. I'm Ryan Thacker along with my brother Tyson.
We've had record low interest rates for over 8 years now, and it's wreaking havoc on traditional income options like CDs and savings accounts. Ultimately, it's forcing many retirees to take on far more risk than they ever thought that they would at this stage of the game. And that could potentially have a tragic result. So how will you generate income in retirement while minimizing that risk? Coming up in this segment, we're going to share more surprising options on how other people are successfully generating income in retirement today while still reducing that risk. And Ryan, risk is what we want to share and focus on in this segment, right?
That's exactly right. And we're seeing a lot of this right now because so many families feel like they're behind. Maybe you pulled your money out right after the market crashed in 2008 and you've been worried to get back in. Well, now as the markets have been on a tear for over 8 years and we've been in this tremendous bull market, some of you are starting to think, well, maybe it's time I get back in the market. This is oftentimes the very worst time that you could get back in the market.
Well, and it kind of reminds us of the late 1990s, right?
Yes.
When there was the big bubble happening with all the dot-coms.
Alan Greenspan, irrational exuberance,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And so what you need to understand is what type of risk that you're taking, and is that appropriate? Do you have the right amount of risk, whether it's in the market or any other product? It doesn't matter. You've got to ensure that you're not taking too much because we do not want you losing 30, 40, or even 50% when the next market correction happens.
A 30 to 40 to 50% decrease in your money will put a lot of stress on your portfolio when you're starting to withdraw money for retirement. I think one of the mistakes that families make is you think, okay, I've been putting money in, I've been adding to the retirement bucket, and so I'm just going to continue with business as usual when I retire. Here's the reason why it's a mistake, is because if you lose the 30, 40, 50%, then all of a sudden if you lost 50%, that stress on the portfolio and pulling money out, that's a recipe for disaster, because there was a study that was completed recently by Morningstar. And what was interesting about this study is it said if you take a 4% withdrawal, with all the fluctuations that we've had in the market, a 4% withdrawal, which was considered standard, what's the effect of that, Tyson?
You've got a 50-50 chance of running out of money by the time you pass. Think about that. A 50% chance of running out of money. The reality is, it used to be that you could pull out 8 to 10%. We've had more and more volatility, then it got pushed back to 6 to 8, and now even 4% could be too much if you have your money in the wrong places at the wrong time.
USA Today did a study where they found that it was over 6 in 10 Americans thought they could still pull out 7, 8% and still have plenty of money when it comes to retirement. That is a very bad mistake when it comes to retirement. And this is very important to make sure that you have a diversified income plan like we talked about in the last segment, because if you do not, the effect of what it can do to your retirement savings is catastrophic.
What we want every one of you to be concerned about right now is not the risk. We want you to be concerned about having confidence and clarity as it relates to your retirement. You can't sleep at night if you wonder if your heart and your head are focused on the same things. Your gut's telling you, hey, I ought to back off the risk, but your head is saying, the only way I can make this happen is to go to the next level as far as risk. We do not want that to happen to you.
Swinging for the fences with risk is not the answer, and anyone retiring within the next several years is facing a perfect storm of events. But your biggest challenge above anything else will be your ability to generate income in retirement. Let us show you how we could make the most out of every dollar that you saved for retirement with our customized Boss Retirement Blueprint. We address everything including Social Security, taxes, diversification, healthcare, and risk, but most importantly, we focus on how you can turn your savings and investments into an income workhorse in retirement. Your initial analysis won't cost you a thin dime, so you've got nothing to lose if you've saved at least $200,000 for retirement. Call to schedule your initial analysis right now. Call us at 801-610-1234. Learn how you could help make your money go further in retirement. Give us a call right now.
The question is it possible you're taking on far more risk in the stock market and you don't even know it? Coming up next, we'll share more strategies generating income in retirement while reducing your risk. We'll see you on the other side.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
It's your retirement. How will you live it? How will you be remembered?
Will you be able to send me an invitation?
Will you be there for my ball games?
Will you teach me your values? Will you be able to play with me?
Oh, help me go to college. How will I remember you?
Have the retirement you dream about. Ask BossRetirement.com.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
I'm Tyson Thacker, along with my brother Ryan. Welcome back to Retirement Solutions Television.
Interest rates on CDs and savings accounts have been at a record low for over 8 years now. And even though the Fed has recently raised interest rates, rates on CDs and saving accounts won't return to normal levels anytime soon.
Maybe never.
That's possible. It may never happen. Unfortunately, that's forced many retirees to take on far more risk than they should in search of a return. And that could have irreversible consequences at this stage of the game. Coming up in this segment, we're going to share more surprising options on how other people are successfully generating income in retirement today while at the same time reducing their risk. Tyson, this is a very important product topic, because as we look at what is it? Is it a CD? Is it an investment? Is it an annuity? Why is looking at a product a mistake when it comes to retirement planning?
Well, first, this is what happens when you start talking to advisors. Is one advisor may like an annuity. Another advisor may only like the market.
Mutual funds or something like that.
You name it. And so as a result, you start getting pushed in a particular direction, and you start thinking in your head, it must be a particular product. The reality is there is no one product that is good for every situation.
That's right.
Every couple, every individual is a little bit different. It needs a customized approach. So if you are talking to someone right now, an advisor who's pushing a particular product and that's all they're pushing, it's a recipe for disaster. You've got to ensure that this is not about a product, this is about a plan. And the reality is that most advisors really do get focused on only one particular product. And again, that's going to create a situation where it's going to leave you short throughout your retirement years.
You know, Tyson, I'm thinking about a couple who recently came into the office, and as I was looking at what they had, I instantly knew that their whole basis for financial planning had been on a product. 27 different buckets. Okay, that's what I call
Wow.
them. And as I'm looking at this, and this list is really long, they had an annuity here, they had some mutual funds here, they had a Roth over here, they had an IRA over here, and I was just looking at it and kind of taking it in, and I said, tell me how this came together. And they're like, well, it really didn't come together. What happened is we lived by this neighbor and he sold this life insurance. Then we moved and we were by this neighbor and he sold only mutual funds. And then we lived by this neighbor and he sold annuities. And what happened, the end result is they just accumulated these different buckets. And I said, what is your plan for income? We
I
don't
have no
a
idea.
plan. What is your plan for inflation?
No
I have
idea.
no idea. And that is something that is not uncommon. When families come into our office, what we see is we see this bucket approach, which we know instantly is product. And it was a product sell. This is not about having the perfect product, because let's just be really clear on this. There is no silver bullet when it comes to a product, right, Tyson?
That's exactly right. In fact, I think about another client that when she came to me, all she had was money in the market. And she was 79 years old.
Wow.
She did not like the risk of the market. So you talk about everything all over the place. We also see on a consistent basis people who only have one thing that they're focused on. Either one of them are not good as it relates to retirement, income planning, and the rest of the plan that needs to happen all throughout retirement.
Because there's far too much risk on that one bucket, right? And
That's right.
there's not any allocation or diversification.
Anyone retiring within the next several years is facing a perfect storm of events. But your biggest challenge above anything else will be the ability to generate income in retirement.
That's right.
Let us show you how we could make the most out of every dollar you've saved for retirement with our customized Boss Retirement Blueprint. We address everything that includes Social Security, taxes, diversification, healthcare, and risk. But most important to you, we focus on how you could turn your savings and investments into an income workhorse in retirement. Your initial analysis won't cost you a dime, so you've got nothing to lose. If you've saved at least $200,000 for retirement, give us a call and schedule your initial analysis now at 801-610-1234. Learn how we could help you make your money go further than you ever imagined in retirement. Call us now on the number on your screen.
Traditional options for generating income in retirement today are history. So what are you doing about your options without betting the farm? I'll tell you what they are coming up next in the next segment. You won't want to miss this. Join us on the other side.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
Our office does have a family feel. We consider everyone on our team to be part of our family. You know, sometimes at work it's gets crazy and it's a little bit stressful, but at the end of the day, that's just like real life. And real life is about relationships. It's about making a difference, supporting each other in good times and bad times, and that's what our environment is like at the office. It is very unique and it's different. You know, I don't think everyone can work with a family member. Welcome to Retirement Solutions Television. I'm Ryan Thacker along with my brother Tyson.
Okay, let's do it again.
Okay, you ready?
I thought you were going to say one more thing.
What do you want me to say?
No, that's good.
And we shared a bedroom together when we were little kids. And we've always had the ability to have different strengths and different weaknesses, and what we have been able to do is combine those in a way that together we're far better than we could be individually, and it's something I'm grateful to have the opportunity to work together with him.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us today on Retirement Solutions Television.
You know, it's been said that the only way you could double your money in the bank today is by putting, what? Twice as much money in the bank. With interest rates at record lows for 8 years and no end in sight, how will you generate income in retirement? And what are your options beyond the bank? Coming up in this segment, we're going to share more surprising options on how other people are successfully generating income in retirement today while still reducing their risk. And Ryan, this has been a great show, talking a lot about topics that are important to this. The last one becomes, in our minds, the most important piece that you really need as you're nearing retirement. What is it?
It's having a plan. We talked about in the last segment about it's not about a product, it's about having a plan. And at the very base, the foundation of every plan is how you're going to generate income successfully in retirement. And this is the mistake that a lot of families are making right now. We want to make sure that you are not one of those families. And so we talk about this over and over again. It comes down to having a plan for 5 basic areas. And here's what it is. We call it the Boss Retirement Blueprint. You will see this over and over again as we talk about our different strategies. The Boss Retirement Blueprint has 5 areas that are the most essential areas when it comes to retirement planning. Here's what they are. I'm going to go over the first couple, Tyson. You can finish the rest. But in this plan, you need to have a plan for your emergency funds. We call this the cash bucket, because the cash bucket is roofs do need to be replaced.
You got it.
Cars need to be replaced. You like to go on vacation, and heaven forbid a medical expense happens. You want to make sure you've got money readily available to pay for those deductibles.
Next one is income. We've talked about this throughout the show. We talk about it a lot on the show in general, but you need to have an income plan. Most people don't, though. Most people are so fixated on saving as much money and getting the best return that they can that they forget that the reason why they're putting the money aside is for an income workhorse, is what we call it, all through the retirement years.
That's right. The third part of the plan is a inflation bucket. This is where you look at what you're currently spending today with the goal in mind that you will double that spending, not because you're going on exotic vacations or trips, but because life gets more expensive.
That's right.
Health insurance increases, gallon of gas increases, loaf of bread, and you need to have a proper strategy as part of your plan to make sure that you can get to retirement with confidence.
The next bucket that you need to be concerned about is what most people, that's all they focus on, is growth. Now, most of you that you talk to your advisor, they're telling you the latest stock tip, or they're saying you really need to focus on this sector of the market. Now, at Boss Retirement Solutions, we're not going to give you any hot stock tips. We're going to use the plan to systematize the growth. We want this to be as low volatility as possible to ensure as the market goes up, you have gains, and when the market goes down, you don't lose, in some cases, a dime, but minimal losses at all costs.
Well, like what we like to say, we want your investments to be boring so your retirement can be interesting.
That's right.
And the last piece on the plan is legacy. Legacy, when you think about all of your life and what you've worked hard for, who matters most to you? Is it your family? Is it your favorite charitable organization? What is it that drives you to do what you want to do? And the legacy basket is where you're able to take all that you've been able to build and accumulate and pass those on to those who matter most. Those are the 5 components of a plan. If you don't have that plan, very important that you focus on receiving the plan. And you know what? Anyone retiring today and in the next several years, you're facing a perfect storm of events. But your biggest challenge above anything else will be your ability to generate income in retirement. Let us show you how we could make the most out of every dollar that you've saved for retirement with the Boss Retirement Blueprint, just like what we've talked about in this segment.
And it's not just the 5 things that we talked about in the blueprint. There's a lot more that goes into it, right?
That's exactly right. We address everything, including Social Security, taxes, diversification, healthcare, and risk. But most importantly, we focus on how you could turn your savings and investments into an income workhorse in retirement. Your initial analysis won't cost you a dime, so you've got nothing to lose. If you've saved at least $200,000 for retirement, call and schedule your initial analysis right now at 801-610-1234. Learn how we could help you make your money go further in retirement. Be one of the first 10 callers to give us a call right now.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
You're on the back 9 heading for the clubhouse. Your dreams of spending time with family and enjoying retirement are just within reach. What happens if you end up in the rough? In these uncertain times, it's crucial to be prepared with sound advice. Boss Retirement Solutions is one of Utah's premier retirement planning specialists. For a complimentary consultation, call 801-610-1234. Boss Retirement Solutions. Plan to retire well.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
Thanks for watching today's show. If you'd like to start a conversation, give us a call or go to our website. We'd be happy to talk to you.
Remember, retiring successfully doesn't happen by accident. We'll see you next week.